Suddenly, a loud crash draws their attention. A couple of zombies have stumbled into a car, their moans echoing in the stillness. "We can't go back through that way," Charlie warns, his eyes wide with fear. "Then we need to find another way around," Roger replies, scanning the parking lot for an alternate route. Peter spots an alleyway that leads behind them all. "There. We can go that way." He gestures toward it, and they dart toward the alley, the shadows providing a brief sense of safety. As they weave through the alley, the atmosphere shifts. It's darker, the sounds of the outside world muted. Their pace quickens as they reach the back entrance of the mall, but a chilling sound halts them in their tracks, a low growl emanating from within the darkness. "What was that?" Lisa whispers, her voice trembling. Roger motions for silence, his heart pounding. "Stay quiet. Let me check it out," he says, edging toward the entrance. Just as he reaches for the door handle, a figure lunges from the shadows, a lone zombie, its eyes hollow and its skin rotting. Roger reacts instinctively, raising his bat and swinging hard. The bat connects with a sickening crunch, and the zombie falls lifelessly to the ground. "Let's move," he urges, pushing the door open. The group rushes inside, their breath coming in quick gasps as they close the door behind them, barricading it against any potential threats. Back inside the mall, they take a moment to catch their breath, the adrenaline from their narrow escape still coursing through their veins. "We did it," Peter breathes, a grin breaking across his face. "Yeah, but we need to remain vigilant," Roger reminds them, his expression serious. "We can't let our guard down now. We need to fortify the entrances and keep watch over everyone inside." As they regroup, Stephen and Francine meet them in the food court, visibly relieved at their return. "You made it," Francine exclaims, her eyes shining with gratitude. "We were worried." Roger shares their experience, recounting the alarms and the chaotic scene outside. "We got supplies, but the situation is worsening. There are more zombies than we initially thought. Then we need to keep planning," Stephen says, determination etched on his face. "We can't let this place become a death trap. Let's assign lookout shifts, fortify the entrances, and start rationing supplies." The group nods, a sense of unity forming as they all contribute their ideas and suggestions. They brainstorm about fortifying the windows and doors with whatever they can find, creating a safe haven within the mall's walls. Days turn into a blur as the group works tirelessly to secure the mall. They develop a system of lookout shifts, patrol the premises, and share meals while planning their next steps. The survivors forge bonds in this crucible of horror, learning to trust one another and rely on each other's strengths. As they settle into their new routine, the sense of community begins to grow. Roger, Peter, Charlie, and Lisa become essential members of the group, each contributing unique skills and perspectives. Charlie's knowledge of electronics helps them maintain the security system, while Lisa keeps morale high, entertaining the children with stories and games. Stephen and Francine take on leadership roles, organizing supplies and ensuring everyone is contributing to the group's safety. They work together to broadcast their situation, hoping that someone, somewhere, is listening. Despite the dire circumstances, they cling to the hope of rescue, a flicker of light in their otherwise dark world. As the days stretch into a monotonous cycle of survival, they must confront the harsh reality of their existence. The morning sun spills through the skylights, casting a warm glow over the food court where the survivors gather for breakfast. Stephen stands at the head of the table, going over the dwindling supplies. "We have to start rationing food more strictly," he states, his brow furrowed with concern. We're down to about 2 days worth of canned goods, and we need to prepare for the worst. Francine nods, her face reflecting the gravity of the situation. We'll also need to plan another supply run. The stores might have more food, but we have to be careful. Roger, leaning against the wall, folds his arms. We can't keep hiding here forever. The longer we wait, the more risk we're taking. We need to explore new areas, other stores, maybe even the hardware section for tools. I agree, Peter adds. If we can secure the surrounding areas, it'll give us more breathing room. We'll have to work in teams. Lisa, seated at the table with her daughter, raises her hand tentatively. I'd like to come with you guys. I know it's dangerous, but I want to help. Absolutely not, Roger replies firmly. It's too risky, especially with your daughter here. We need you safe. But I can't just sit here while everyone else goes out. Lisa argues, her voice trembling with frustration and fear. I have to contribute, for my daughter's sake. The room goes quiet, all eyes on Roger. After a moment of contemplation, he softens. We need every pair of hands we can get, but we'll have to make sure we have a secure plan. We'll talk about who can go later. As the group discusses their options, the mood shifts to one of cautious optimism. They start mapping out the mall's layout, plotting potential supply runs and areas to explore. Charlie suggests they check the sporting goods store for equipment, while Peter proposes they look for additional food supplies in the grocery section. They decide to split into 2 teams for the first supply run. Roger, Peter, and Francine will head to the grocery section, while Steven, Lisa, and Charlie will check the sporting goods store. After a quick breakfast, the teams prepare to set out. Each group gathers weapons, flashlights, and whatever makeshift gear they can muster. The air is thick with tension as they exchange final words of encouragement. Stay close, keep your voices down, and be ready for anything, Roger instructs. The weight of leadership hangs heavily on him, and he knows the lives of those around him depend on their ability to work together and remain vigilant. Roger, Peter, and Francine navigate the mall's expansive corridors, their footsteps echoing against the tile floors. As they approach the grocery store entrance, the familiar sound of rustling can be heard from within. Roger raises a hand to signal a stop. Let's listen for a second. They huddle close to the entrance, straining to hear through the door. Inside, the unmistakable moans of the undead reverberate. Looks like we're not the only ones with this idea, Peter mutters, his eyes narrowing. What do you want to do? We could draw them out, Francine suggests, her mind racing. If we create a distraction, we can get in and out quickly. Roger nods. Okay, I'll create some noise. When they come out, you 2 slip in and grab what you can. Got it, Francine replies, her heart racing at the thought of being surrounded by zombies. With a deep breath, Roger steps back and takes a nearby trash can, hurling it across the hallway. The metal clangs loudly, echoing through the mall and drawing the attention of the nearby undead. The moans grow louder as the zombies shift, drawn toward the noise. Now, he shouts, and Francine and Peter push through the grocery store doors. Inside, the scene is chaotic. The shelves are toppled, and food lies scattered across the floor. Zombies shuffle aimlessly among the aisles, their eyes glazed and hungry. Francine spots a few boxes of canned goods and heads toward them, grabbing as much as she can carry. Over here, Peter calls out, pointing to the back where they see a small stockroom door ajar. There might be more supplies in there. As they move cautiously toward the stockroom, the sound of shuffling feet grows louder. A pair of zombies, their flesh decayed and peeling, turn toward them, drawn by the movement. "Watch out!" Peter shouts, raising his weapon. He fires, the gunshot ringing out and echoing through the store, stunning the zombies for a moment before they resume their advance. "Move!" Francine urges, and they sprint toward the stockroom. As they slip through the door, they find themselves in a dimly lit area filled with crates and boxes. They quickly scan for any supplies, grabbing what they can. "We need to hurry," Peter urges, but as they begin to load their arms with boxes of food, the door suddenly rattles. The zombies outside have realized their presence, their moans growing in intensity. "Come on, we need to get out," Francine yells, panic rising. Roger stands at the door, peering through the small window. "There are too many of them. We can't go back the way we came. Then we need another exit," Peter replies, scanning the room. He spots a window at the far end. "There. We can get out through there. Let's go," Francine shouts, and they rush toward the window. With a few quick movements, they pry the window open and clamber through, landing outside in the back of the grocery store. The sun hits their faces, and for a moment, they breathe a sigh of relief. "Keep moving," Roger urges, looking around to ensure the coast is clear. They move away from the building, heading toward the mall entrance they had previously used. Meanwhile, Stephen, Lisa, and Charlie approach the sporting goods store, ready to start their own supply run. The atmosphere is tense, but they remain focused, knowing the dangers that lie ahead. "Stay alert," Stephen advises. "We don't know what we might find inside." They enter the store cautiously, finding the aisles littered with discarded gear. Charlie starts gathering items, a fishing rod, camping supplies, and various tools. Lisa keeps an eye on the entrance, her heart pounding in her chest. Suddenly, a loud crash from the back of the store causes them to freeze. "What was that?" Lisa whispers, her voice trembling. "Stay here," Stephen says, his voice low but firm. He edges toward the sound, feeling the tension rise in the air.